For almost all of human history, when the sun went down, that was it. The world just went dark. Life was totally dictated by daylight. Then, this small glass sphere shows up, and with a simple flick of a switch, it literally brought the sun indoors. This is the story of how that simple invention conquered the night and completely reshaped our world.
I mean, it's almost impossible for us to really picture that today, right? But for thousands of years, that was humanity's reality. The fundamental problem was, how do you create light that's reliable, safe, and actually affordable once the sun is gone? Solving this wasn't just about illuminating rooms, it was about illuminating the future.
For millennia, our only real options were fire-based. We're talking torches, candles, oil and gas lamps. And sure, they gave you a flicker of light, but they were also dim, they were smoky, they were incredible fire hazards, and for most people, way too expensive to use all the time.
And this is what that really meant for society. The entire rhythm of civilization was chained to the sun. Work just stopped. Travel became super dangerous. Productivity, innovation, it all just ended at dusk. Humanity was absolutely desperate for a breakthrough.
Okay, so here's the first big myth we really need to bust. The light bulb wasn't the brainchild of some single, lone genius having a eureka moment. Nope. It was more like the finish line of a decades-long global race, with inventors all over the world trying to crack the code of electric light.
Just look at how this idea evolved over decades. Way back in 1802, Humphrey Davy created something called an electric arc lamp. And yeah, it worked, but it was blindingly bright and burned out way too fast. Then you've got Warren de la Rue in the 1840s with a platinum filament, which was a great idea, but platinum was, and still is, insanely expensive. And critically, you've got Joseph Swan over in the UK, who was developing working prototypes long before Edison even got seriously into the game.
So the race really boiled down to two main contenders, Joseph Swan in Britain and, of course, Thomas Edison in the US. Now here's a fun fact. Swan actually developed a longer-lasting bulb first and successfully sued Edison for patent infringement in the UK. Their rivalry was so fierce that eventually they just merged their companies in Britain, forming the Edison and Swan United Electric Light Company.
So here's the crucial takeaway. While Edison did not invent the first electric light, his true genius was in transforming it from a cool scientific curiosity into a practical, reliable product that could be put in every single home.
Because, you see, the real challenge wasn't just making a tiny wire glow inside a glass bulb. No, the real mountain to climb was engineering a product that could actually be manufactured, sold, and used by millions and millions of people.
Edison and his team, they were master problem solvers. They broke it all down into these four key challenges. The bulb had to be durable, not just for a few hours, but for hundreds. It had to be safe enough that you wouldn't worry about it in your home. It had to be cheap enough for an average family to buy. And you had to have a way to make millions of them.
And this number? This just speaks to the sheer, relentless effort that went into it. To solve just one of those problems, making it last, Edison's lab famously tested over 6,000 different materials to find the perfect filament. I mean, they tried everything from cotton threads to wood splints, anything they could think of, all in the hunt for that perfect, long-lasting glow.
And the winner? A carbonized bamboo filament. It was the heart of his 1880 patent and could burn for an incredible 1,200 hours. But look closely at this patent. Edison wasn't just patenting a bulb, he was patenting an entire system. The secret sauce was a high-resistance filament that used very little electricity. This meant you could power hundreds of bulbs from a single power station far away, which made the whole thing economically viable. And that's really the bottom line on Edison's success. He won the race not by being the first, but by being the most practical. He built the entire ecosystem, from the power plants right down to the fuses and switches inside your home.
So how does this little revolutionary device actually do its thing? Well, the physics behind it are actually surprisingly simple and kind of elegant. Okay, so when you flip a switch, electricity flows into the bulb and hits that tiny filament, which today is usually made of tungsten. The filament resists the flow of electricity, and that struggle generates a massive amount of heat. We're talking incredibly hot, over 2,500 degrees Celsius, and that intense heat forces the filament to glow brightly. That special kind of glow has a scientific name, incandescence. It's really just light that's produced from heat. And that vacuum or inert gas inside the glass, that's absolutely crucial. It's what stops that superheated filament from just instantly burning up the second it hits oxygen. But here's the kicker. For all of its world-changing impact, the classic incandescent bulb is ridiculously inefficient. This chart says it all.
About 90% of the electricity it uses is just wasted as heat. Only a tiny 10% actually becomes visible light. It's basically a tiny space here that just happens to glow.
But despite that inefficiency, this simple glowing machine completely rewired human civilization, probably faster than any invention that came before it. Its impact went so far beyond just lighting up a room.
I mean, suddenly factories could run around the clock. City streets, which were once terrifyingly dark, became safer, more vibrant. People could work, study, and socialize late into the evening. This created the very foundation for the modern 24/7 global economy we all live in.
But maybe the most surprising change was to our own biology. This is fascinating. For centuries, humans didn't sleep in one solid 8-hour block. Historical records show that people used to have a first sleep, then they'd wake up for an hour or two around midnight, and then go back for a second sleep.
Artificial light completely blew that up. By extending our days with bright light, we basically rewired our own brains, suppressing the hormones that regulated this natural sleep cycle. So, the next time you find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., it might not just be you. It could be a biological echo of a world before the light bulb. It literally changed the way we dream.
In the end, the story of the light bulb is about so much more than just a filament in a vacuum. It really represents a turning point, a moment where human ingenuity took control of one of nature's most fundamental cycles, the rhythm of day and night.
With this one simple invention, we unlocked the full potential of the night. We expanded the hours available for human productivity, for creativity, and we truly laid the foundation for the modern world as we know it.
The light bulb story really shows how a seemingly simple invention can have these huge, unpredictable consequences, reshaping everything from our economy right down to our sleep. So it leaves you with a question, right? What everyday technology are we using right now that's quietly rewriting our future?